one bliss. Someone flips me a bad body. So, it's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Yes, people. So this is another boxing roundup, but I know we don't have my cousin BNG, but look, we've got a special guest. I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to announce it like this. The most electrifying, the most charismatic. For me, he brings entertainment into boxing. And obviously I call him, and he calls himself, Blair, the Flair, Cobbs. Brother, thank you so much for joining us on a special show. I know obviously the timings and everything has been a bit of a difficult one to do, but look, I'm just happy to have you, and thank you so much for just sharing your love and joining us on another special boxing roundup.
Well, thank you for having me on. How's everything over there? What time is it over there?
I'll tell you the time. So right now it's about 9:30 in the evening.
Oh wow, okay.
It's 9:30 p.m. Yep, it's late, but
there's no time to waste.
Yes, no time to waste.
Exciting man in boxing. Woo! Nothing but charismatic action coming back to you live at the roundup. Let's get it. Let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it, brother. Thank you so much, for that introduction. But before we get into the show properly, we obviously have to hear from our sponsors, D-Rock Clothing. Yes, people. So you know the spiel by now. It's D-Rock in association with iBoxingHub. So people, take advantage of the discount code, which is iBoxingHub24, and you get 40% off everything. Obviously, I'm not wearing the D-Rock. I'm wearing, Kronk right now. So big up to our brothers all the way from Detroit, Michigan. So Paul Batty and John Learpack, they're obviously doing a tremendous job with the Kronk brand. So that's why we're obviously wearing the hoodie. And the USA takeover continues, and we've obviously got a special guest there. Blair, there's a reason why I wanted to kind of get you on the show, is because, in fact, we were communicating for a long time since your big win over AB. That was a tremendous victory. So I just wanted to say live in front of the public, a tremendous performance. A lot of people doubted you in that situation, but the energy that you brought to obviously the build up and everything just made it difficult for AB to deal with. And I've actually got a clip, and I think you shared it on your socials as well, but because you got you on, here we go.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Woo! Woo! Keep going. Woo! Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Yes,
that's getting me excited. I
love that. That's one of the reasons why, I kind of resonated with you as a fan from over here, because growing up, myself and my cousin, who normally does the roundup with me, so big up to BNG. So obviously got some other commitments to do, but we used to grow up watching WWE, and one of the things that resonated with me for you is you give off that Ric Flair kind of classy profiling, kiss stealing, the rest of it, my brother, man. And people, if you don't know who Ric Flair is, I don't know where you've been, seriously. So I just wanted to give you your props in just the way you've been able to immerse yourself into the boxing scene.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, for people that might be a little, I don't know, Gen Z, or I don't even know what the class is under that. But if you don't know, Ric Flair is the name that was given to me. Blair the Flair, and Ric Flair is one of the most charismatic wrestlers in entertainment. Back in the day, we didn't have UFC. We had WWE, or better known as WWF and WCW and all these things. And there were wrestlers that gave off this persona. They gave off this charismatic way about themselves that inspired the nature, the human like imagination inside of all of us, the childlike imagination inside of all of us. And yes, they did some fighting, but it was in the realms of that charismatic nature in fighting that like really inspired people. And that's what Blair Flair does today. Blair Flair comes out to show out, impress, and inspire the world.
Yeah, and that's the energy that you give off, and that's one of the reasons why when you think about boxing, it's not only the talent and what you do in the ring, it's the whole show business. It's what you could do outside of the ring, and what you do outside of the ring, you're creating some noise as well. And for those that don't know, you're obviously fighting at welterweight at the minute now. You're currently ranked number 10 in the WBO. So what that means is obviously Brian Norman Jr. is obviously the champion, and that is someone that potentially you could fight in the near future as well. I just want to read some of the comments. Everyone's going crazy right now, so big up to everyone that's in the comments. So Champy's saying, is Brian Norman Jr. the next fight for you? I'm going to let you answer that in a second. Mr. Neutral, big up to Mr. Neutral, is saying big up Tre and iBoxingHub, and shout out to Mr. Blair Cobbs. When we're seeing you over in the UK, woo. Eric's obviously saying, woo, woo. Obviously, that energy. Big up to Blair the Flair, and only 3 men. So I'm not too sure what he means there. So only 3 men can do the wall. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Blair, the Flair, Cobbs, and Ric Flair. So no, big up, man. Big up, big up. So first question. Obviously, the people want to know, Brian Norman Jr., is that the next fight that you kind of, not the next, but it's in the horizon?
Oh, hopefully we can get that fight. It's right now, everybody's kind of put themselves in a place of like unattainable, and it's crazy because the thing is, as long as they can find something to say to stop them from seeing me, that's what they'll do. If Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero in recent times was like there's no reason for you not to fight me at this point. It like I gotta catch them when they're like so far off of their like high horse. So it's very frustrating right now.
No, I could imagine. And look, there's been cases where you've confronted the champions like Boots, and you've been in those situations, and that's why looking at your career, your story, and the whole fact that you was able to, let me tell you a quick story. The fact that I was actually watching. Look, I'm a big Canelo fan. We're obviously going to talk about Canelo in the future, but there is a big link between yourself and Canelo. Now, for the card, the Kovalev card, you was actually on the undercard for that. And what actually impressed me, it wasn't actually the fight itself. It was actually the press conference, my friend, man. The energy that you brought to the press conference was exactly what you're all about, man. So just tell us, how is it like, firstly, being in a Canelo involved card? And secondly, like, what were your emotions feeling at that moment?
It was kind of like a full circle. Like when I first started boxing, I boxed in Mexico and I boxed in Guadalajara. Actually, I knew Canelo when we were kids. I saw him like in the earlier stages before he turned pro. I was like that guy back in those days. You know what I mean? They called me Apollo because I had the afro and I had the bounce, and I was just beating a lot of the guys up. I was winning all my fights, and they'll put me on They're like for these little club shows, these little amateur smokers, I would be like the main event because they'll put me up against, you know, a giant. They'll put me up against guys I'm supposed to lose. You know what I mean? And I'll win. I'll win them all. And at that particular time period when I was learning how to box, Canelo was there too. He was actually on some of the undercards of those particular amateur shows back in the day in Jalisco.
Wow.
But and now he kind of like rose to like what he's become now, you know. And me, I took the long road and all that stuff. But it's very interesting. Then I finally got to show up in you know on the undercard and the press conference and stuff. I really had to force Golden Boy to make sure that they have me on because the Zone wanted me even more than they did. So I made sure that happened, and I just showed up and showed out and just showed what I was about, which was about being a megastar, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. You know, you obviously got the TKO victory. It was obviously in the 6th round against Ortiz, which that was also a tough fight as well, man. Just the fact, yeah, that was a tough fight. But the way he was able to turn it around.
Yeah, I looked at this guy. I was like, we were looking him up and going through the training camp, and like I come to find out, this guy had a granite chin at the time, like granite chin at the time, and he's very strong, very hard. He gave Alexis Rocha a really hard time. Matter of fact, he might have actually lost that fight.
Yeah,
I mean, if the judges were actually counting the jabs that Rocha was just eating, pow, just eating all day, you know, Rocha might have actually lost that fight. So I'm looking at this guy Ortiz like, no, he's pretty tough. I looked at who stopped him. He never got stopped. There was like he had fought like a 170 fighter, some guy that was way bigger than him, and they stopped the fight, but he never actually got dazed. So I'm like, okay, this guy's going to be hard to beat. You know, I got to figure out how to stop him to the body, or something like that. You know, and we're boxing and everything. I also forgot that he was a southpaw. There's certain angles that I can't do.
Yeah, because you're a southpaw as well. So yeah.
Certain things that I can't do with southpaws that I do with right-handed fighters, taking my head on certain angles. He caught me early. I'm like, okay, dang, I gotta come back. And I'm boxing, and I finally caught him. I caught him to the head, caught him to the chin, and he went down. I knew he was going to get back up. The only way I can do is if I stop him to the body. So I open up a barrage of body shots really, really fast. So fast that it's fast. Like my 4, 5, 6 punch combination is faster than most people 1-2 combination at that time when I threw those shots. And eventually, after like catching with those really good body shots, they called the fight off due to a broken rib.
Yeah. And you obviously got your victory on the night as well. So, you know, just as a fighter, just being involved in like a Canelo event, for example, like, how's the feeling like? Because I could just imagine, Canelo at that point was, he was a legend at that point. He still is at that point. But I just kind of wanted to know what was your feeling. I know you obviously got that history with him, but just being involved in such a big card, a historic one.
It was great. It was like, man, I finally made it to somewhere, you know, and it was great. It was great, like exclamation point on that whole year, because that whole year was incredible. The first fight of that year, I fought a guy that was undefeated that everybody thought I was going to lose against. His name was Ferdinand Karubian. He was a undefeated like prospect for Golden Boy, promoted and managed by Ronda Rousey, and you know, he's this Armenian Olympian. Now, like, and he's knocking guys out like at heavier weight classes than I've ever participated in. And I'm 140. They kept talking about, you need to fight this guy. I'm like, but I'm 140. I had a bad fight at 140, so I had to move up and weight. I move up to 147. I'm like, I'm not moving up to 54, man. You got leave me at the 47. Like, this is what I'm at, you know? They're like, okay, they finally offered me a belt for the NABF title, and then we fought for that. And most people thought I was going to lose. My trainers quit 2 weeks before the fight. Wow. 2 weeks before the fight, I had to get a new trainer.
Wow.
I just pointed to anybody
else. These guys you're with now? Oh
no, those are the best of the best. You know what I mean? Now, but back in those days, like I had to get rid of the trainers that I had 2 weeks before the fight.
Wow.
And I'm in the dressing room, and mind you, the trainer that I did have at the time, he might have been, you know, like a bit of a druggie. So he disappears. He disappears here and there. And I'm in the dressing room, and I'm just like, man, I got to make this happen, you know? And I'm in the dressing room with my headphones on, and the host of the show keeps his head in the dressing room, and he says, "Hey, you Blair or Flair?" I said, "Yeah." I took my headphones off. I said, "Yeah." He said, "So you do the woo?" And I said, "Yeah, I could do that."
Yeah.
Been rocking ever since, like, you know.
Wow. No, I rate that. I absolutely. It's one of the reasons why I love hearing these back end stories, because as fans, we don't know none of that's happening in the back end. That you've had to get rid of your coaches too. Oh God, that is stressful. But the fact that you've been able to overcome that just shows me, you know, your character. And Mr. Neutral in the chat is saying, like, we need more characters like Blair in boxing. We're suffocating out here. So no, big up to Mr. Neutral for that comment. And I agree. We need more, you know, characters like yourselves, you know, talking about these things that are happening, so that the Gen Z world can, you know, learn from these experiences, man, that you've gone through. Because you've had it hard. You've had it tough. You've had it hard. You've gone through kind of multiple promoters now. You obviously got a new manager now, and big up to your manager. I personally call him Nappa. I call him Nappa because we know him. He's an East London legend. He's basically a UK grime legend, you know, for his music that he used to do back in the days, man. So next time you talk to him, just say, "Oh, crack your skull." He will know exactly what you're talking about. Think how. You will know, man. But yeah, just energy, nothing but good energy. So with that situation, how did that happen? Because obviously he's in the UK. You know, I know he obviously deals with Eubank and multiple other fighters. How did that situation arose between you guys becoming the team?
Well, I had some other managers that was managing, not doing much managing, but they're trying, and it just didn't work out. Like there's multiple times where like I have to get some stuff done. And so I like, let's say if I just won this big fight, biggest fight of my life, I gotta make sure that I have somebody vouching for me at these conferences.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm like, you know what, I gotta travel. So I start traveling to Puerto Rico, I travel to Germany, I travel to this place, that place. I travel to the fights, I show up to the fights to make sure that I'm staying relevant. All throughout this time period where like I'm trying to stay relevant and trying to stay active and going to these conventions and this and that. And Napper was always there. He was always there working. You know what I'm saying? We always had good conversations. And I like what he was doing with these fighters, getting them opportunities, you know? And yeah, like, so it just made more sense. It made more sense that, you know what, like if I gotta leave what I got right now, and I'm really reluctant to that stuff because I'm really loyal and I try to, you know what I mean, I never give up, which is probably my biggest problem as well as my biggest you know, thing, my biggest strength. My biggest strength is my biggest flaw. So like I will keep going on with a losing situation. So eventually I had to leave that alone and move on with Napa. and also I had to get rid of my promotion because the promotion was holding me back.
Yeah.
I could have made a lot of things happen right after that Broner fight.
Yeah.
If I wasn't connected to Don King.
Yeah.
And Don King could have made a lot of things happen right after that big fight.
Yeah.
But he just was not working.
Yeah.
So it just made it very, very hard and very difficult. You know what I mean? This is where like politics ruin megastars. They ruin what could be megastars. They ruin all the amazing things that could be happening in boxing. And honestly, this is the type of stuff that I think people like Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to destroy and overcome. You know, if there was ever a great fighter that Turki Al-Sheikh would deserve, it would be somebody like me. You know what I mean? Right now, he's doing a lot of great things with my big bro, Terrence Crawford, and making this fight happen. And it's getting under people's skin. He's gotten underneath Canelo's skin a little bit.
Yeah.
It's looking like Canelo is a little worried.
Yeah.
All of this great fortune and power that he's gotten over the years with due to Golden Boy and politics, you know what I mean, might be coming to an end.
No, definitely. I agree with you. I agree with you, my brother. And this is one of the reasons why I thought that it was really, really good to just get your take on these things, because Turki right now, he is obviously making the fights, and he is giving people opportunities as well. I've seen people, you know, get opportunities, and I feel like they've not really deserved it. But someone like yourself, especially after that victory, like, and we're going to obviously talk about that a little bit more as well, because for me, I think these are names to have in your CV to kind of build you up for that potential, you know, world title shot, which I could see that happening for you, because you're obviously ranked number 10. So it's going to be down to your team to, you know, devise a plan. So in the next, you know, couple of fights or one fight before that main fight, look, I think you could be in a eliminator very, very soon. So why not? You know, you look at your record, you look at what you've been able to do in the sport thus far. And also, I'm looking at the commercial value as well. You bring entertainment to boxing, you know, the energy. So, yeah. Turki, if you're listening, Blair the Flair, you obviously got TKO, you know, involved in this, man, and you've got Mr. WWE right here. So, Turki, he's here.
Absolutely. So, like, that's the whole thing with this. Hopefully things change. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that right now, what I'm going through is what Ali would be going through if he had to deal with the nonsense that's going on in today's time. You know, he would have never got the Sonny Liston fight. He would have been consistently just trying to break down the barriers of nonsense and like people playing games and you know, just to get that world title shot, just to get that shot to greatness. You know, and in his time period, he dealt with a lot of things.
He dealt with a lot.
But just in boxing alone, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
His great grandnephew is going through a lot, bro. Like, I'm going through a lot, man.
I know. And that's why I kind of look at those situations, especially like we're obviously going to talk about it a little bit more. Your victory over AB, for example. AB, look, I don't care what anyone says. AB, in terms of, you know, entertainment, you know, his trajectory to get into that position where he got to, still credible opponent. And even at the time, he was very, very motivated against you. You know, normally he would be going back and forth with you with the banter, but I think psychologically, he actually had his edge. And I think that played a big factor. That's why I said, like, you are super intelligent in what you do, because not only you're obviously going to do the training in the back end, but you're also going to do the wrestling stuff, which is the build-up stuff, and, you know, what you do, you know, to put yourself out there as a character. And I like it, man. So big up to you, my brother. And just tell me, the preparation for that fight, did it go exactly how you initially planned it with your team, or did something sort of happen between that process?
Oh man, the preparation for the camp for the fight was amazing. We like I had a great team. I had an amazing team that did a lot of things. You know, you had Quincy, you got my trainer Justin Gamber, you got the cut man. They were all involved. You got my best friend Rodney. It's like everybody was well involved and hands on, and it was a recipe for greatness. You know, I was just in the perfect moment, and nothing could stop me at that point. You know, and that's what I look forward to doing again. But the thing is, nowadays it's like you can't get an opportunity until you take a loss. Like, you know, look, after the Rocha fight, I fought 2 ex-world champions, and even now today, my record is better than everybody else's record in my weight class outside of Devin Haney. That's it. Like my record as far as like what I've actually done. I got more undefeated fighters on my resume, and I have more actual credible names and ex-world champions on my resume than everybody else. So
That's
you know,
no, that's what I'm saying. With the name AB in that list as well, that puts you, you know, in positions where, look, we've got to, you know, get knocking on the door for eliminators for world titles, man, and just getting you, you know, higher up in the ranking. You know, in terms of the welterweight division right now, Blair, I kind of look at it, and you're right. Everyone's kind of occupied in their little holes. So you've got Barrios with the whole Pacquiao situation. I don't understand why that's happening. I don't understand how, you know, a Hall of Fame fighter just recently inducted gets, you know, ahead of, you know, a title shot than someone like yourself who's an active fighter in the sport. Like, just talk to me about these things, man. Yeah, talk to me.
Politics and money grabbing, greed. It's a lot of things that's involved with boxing that shouldn't be involved with boxing anymore. It should, like, we should overcome it, because if they don't get their shit together, we're going to lose boxing. You know, we're going to completely lose boxing. If somebody like me can't make it, then it's over. Boxing is done. Because to come from nothing and become something was the dream that we all aspire to. We all, like, you know why we watch boxing? We watch boxing because of the underdog. We watch boxing to see something that can inspire, like, the imagination in your heart. You know what I mean? We watch boxing for Rocky. You know what I'm saying? We watch boxing because Ali and Sonny Liston, George Foreman, you know, like, we watch boxing for Sugar Ray and Duran. You know, we watch boxing for these fights that happen, that something special. And we look at and we watch boxing also to see that megastar for an Ali, a Prince Nassim Hamed. You know what I mean? We'll watch boxing for these type of guys. You know what I mean? That inspires the child in us all, you know? And it's a shame when you have so many entities trying to stop it and destroy it. And then you got, man, people are getting tired of boxing so much. They rather watch people just sit there. I'm gonna slap you, you slap me, and we'll see who goes down first. Like, are you serious? Is that what we're going to now?
I know.
It fell even farther than the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's falling farther than kickboxing, UFC. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Make it pillow fights. It's fallen so far.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. I saw something to do with, like, pillow in a cage. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? It's crazy right now, man. But, you know, in general, I genuinely believe that you will get your opportunity, you know, because you're a tremendous character. and I love what you bring to the sport as well. You know, when you think Blair, the Flair, you bring the Flair to boxing. So yeah, brother, it's all good. So what I wanted to just find out from you actually is we was talking about obviously your involvement in being in the Canelo card in the past. Now you got Canelo fighting Crawford. I kind of want to know your thoughts. I know Crawford's your boy, your big brother, but I just want to know what your views are on this fight. And do you think this fight will be a fight that, you know, you mentioned in the past, you know, the Muhammad Ali's, the Listons, the, you know, the Lennons, the Durans, like, is this fight going to be like that in the next decade or 2 decades to go?
I don't know. It depends because I think that Crawford might pull it off, but also I don't think it's going to be like boom, like that really happened. I don't think it's going to be that let's say surprising.
Hmm.
You know, I really don't think it's going to be that surprising. I think that he's going to figure a way around Canelo's defense and offense because his offense is slow. Canelo is very smart.
Hmm.
He's figured out a way to trick people's, like, especially fighters like myself and those fast black fighters that use their eyes for defense. So they have pristine reflexes and reaction time. That's faster than most people action time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Action time is faster than your action time. So watch this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
he figured out a way to trick the eyes and land really good shots. That, and then not to mention he uses another weapon ploy where he tries to damage your body, period.
Yeah.
Tries to damage your weapon, like your arms, by punching
Yeah.
on
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
your shoulder, or he'll aim a shot and try to land on your hip, which is technically a low blow, but they let him have it. And then, you know, he'll punch right through that guard, that right through your guard, because it wasn't aiming at your guard, and boom, like next thing you know it, you could be wounded. You won't be walking correctly around the ring and things like that. So he's very interesting. You know, and I say that because I know what Canelo is, what Canelo has. But then you have Crawford. Crawford is very smart. He's very patient. You know, he's a lot faster than Canelo, obviously, for coming up in weight.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was ever somebody that would be able to master the basic blueprint of like a Floyd Mayweather, it would be him, but a little bit better because he's more. Crawford has more power, and he's more aggressive. He's more aggressive.
Yeah, it seems like he's got this I think he's got something very instinctive in terms of his killer instinct. When he needs to produce the moments, he produces it. Yeah, big up to Coach Eddie ATL saying Crawford to win. No, big up to you, Coach Eddie. Yeah. Big up to you. Yeah, I think Crawford, he could. Yeah, it's tough because I know you know Canelo. You've seen, you know, he's come up, and I just think that I was so brought up to the Charlo fight. Yeah, I was excited when I was like, "Yep, Charlo's gonna do it." That put my money on Charlo to do it, and then the night comes, I'm just like, where's that energy? Where's that Lions only energy throughout the whole of the week? I just felt a change.
The wrong Charlo.
Oh yeah,
wrong Charlo. And the thing is, right, that particular Charlo is used to being stronger than everyone else.
Exactly.
And the thing is, that's all he has. Like any of us at 47 go up, he looks like easy work. I look at him like easy work. Everybody else, and it's damn sure look like, you're like, oh yeah, he look like easy work.
Yeah,
but he'll be outboxed. He can't hit a moving target. He gets nailed with fast punches down the middle, and guess what? We only have 12 rounds.
That's
So at the end of the day, whether I hurt you, knock you out or not, I'm still leaving with your belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with somebody like Canelo, his power doesn't mean anything. You know, his neck is like this big. You know, his strength is unparalleled right now.
Yeah.
And like he's fighting a very, very small guy in Charlo. Now the other Charlo, different story.
Yes.
But that was the fight that was supposed to happen a long time ago.
Yeah.
That he chose not to. And because of politics and all these things, they were able to play the games that they play now. You know, and they took him all the way out. You know, he got starved out to a point where he fell into all kinds of depression.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's the great fighters, they do that to them.
Yeah.
Great fighters, they do it to me.
Yeah.
They saw me coming. They saw me coming in 2019.
Oh yeah.
With that clean sweep of like 4 fighters and then killing it in the Canelo card.
Yeah. That's right, what I'm saying. From that card, that should have been a different trajectory because the way you kind of put yourself out there, I thought, yeah, you kind of stole the press conference in a way, you know, with the energy. So I do understand what you're saying in terms of, you know, having the right management, having the right team, having the right people fight in your corner, man. It helps as you as the fighter, so you can just go in there, just do what you do, but then you're naturally gonna be the guy that you are anyway, you know, flamboyant, charismatic, you know, good energy. And one of the things that I did actually notice in your last fight, man, the DX, you know, the DX logo that you had in the shorts, everything, the entrance, like that's the kind of vibe that I like, man. So if you were, I know this is kind of going ahead of time now, so you got your world title fight. Let's say Napa calls you and says, look, Blair, we got a world title fight lined up for you, let's go. Entrance wise, from a WWE star, what are you saying? What are you thinking about entering the ring for your world title fight, man? I know we're thinking down the line, but we got to manifest it because this could happen.
Well, I would like to get that in that particular fight, I had X-Pac ready to come out, but he was busy with other work that night. Funny thing is, he was actually in town. I know this guy. We talk. Me and X-Pac, we talk. So that was a real hurt piece. Especially when Broner came out with Rick Ross, man.
Oh man, yeah. That's what I was thinking. That if you had X-Pac, guarantee, yeah, if you had X-Pac in that
I gotta fuck him up even more, man.
Yeah, you have to, man. You have to.
In the press conference, I told him, I got sick of him. I'm like, you know what? Look, I'll tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna knock your tooth out. We're gonna have a good day. We're gonna have a good night, and the end of your career. It's over. It didn't happen. Nobody calls a tooth in a fight.
Oh man, no, that is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, but who you coming out to? Who you envision you coming out to in your world?
I would imagine just trying to get the old man back out for one more show. You know.
Nice. What you talk about, Rick? Jeez, woo! Yeah, right.
After that, then I definitely want to get like Shawn Michaels and The Rock out one of these days.
Oh man,
my favorite theme song is the Sexy Boy theme song by Shawn Michaels.
All right,
a couple of times of that.
Yeah, you know what? That's what. When I saw this, that's what I thought. Yeah, this is Shawn Michaels-esque. I could tell. Nah, definitely. Nah, I like it. I like.
The other one was cool too. I had a whole nother wardrobe for that particular Shawn Michaels theme song, where I had the chaps and everything. It was cool.
Yeah. Oh my days. So growing up, Shawn Michaels is your favorite wrestler growing up. Then not even Ric Flair.
Yeah, because Ric Flair was a little bit before my time.
Yeah.
But like I always knew that, like, you know, a lot of people patterned themselves from the idea of Ric Flair, and he was he was like the guy that everybody wanted to be, the old guy that everybody wanted to be, you know. But when me growing up in my generation, when I was younger, it was Shawn Michaels with D Generation X, Triple H. I came out to Triple H one time.
What? Which Triple H tune? Which Triple H song? Which one? He's got a few Triple H.
The Game,
My Time, or the Game.
The Game, yeah. The younger one, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. And you came up to Stone Cold. You mentioned as well. I did see the Stone Cold one. Yeah,
that was my last come out. I got fed up with everything because everybody's talking the most shit. And I'm like, bro, like that 2-week notice. Watch this. I'm gonna show you how much of a fluke that was, and then it happened. You know, like I completely dominated the fight with against Maurice Hooker, who was an ex-world champion. And a lot of people thought I would lose that fight. You know, he came in nowhere near my weight class, like at all. Didn't even try to make weight. He came in like 9 pounds heavier, and people gotta be complaining to me about 4 pounds. I don't want to hear nothing. Like, you know what I mean? I took that fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mad that he's coming in at that kind of weight as well, man. It's just, it's absolutely crazy. But you got the job done in the end, and you put on the show, and I'm just happy that the show still continues as well. And like what you said earlier, when you look at your record, you've obviously got the one loss, man. But right now, you're on a momentum of 2 wins. You know, you've got that win over AB. That's what I'm hoping for. You know, in the next fights coming down the line, you're obviously going up in that ranking until eventually you get that title shot against the champ, which I think, you know, should happen really, because you're in the ranking right now. So you keep winning your fights.
I don't know, man. I'm probably not in the ranking because of like Don King dropped the ball so hard with the inactivity.
Oh man.
You know, after having a big fight like that, they needed to keep me active.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you have to pay a couple $1,000s to make sure something happened, but you got to make sure something happened. And then on top of that, you can't handle everything.
Yeah.
You're too old. You're too old. I feel like I need to be talking to him like face to face, like, look, repeat after me. I'm too old. Okay. Now look, put somebody else in place so we can make this stuff happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and collect your check. You know, like, goddamn, like it was very difficult dealing with that situation. You know, and it's very unfortunate that like I couldn't just move on right away. If I had known that like he just was completely incapable, I would have moved on immediately right after the fight.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah, but like I hold on tight, believing and have faith.
Yeah. No, it happens. Look, brother, it happens. At the end of the day, you're fighting this situation, and you just kind of want the promoters and your management to kind of just do their job. So you did your part, which was get the victory. You promoted the fight. You know, you ended up doing camp and, you know, paying XYZs for different stuff. You know, the gear, entrance, and, you know, the promoters obviously letting you down. But I'm hoping, and I do believe that, you know, you're in good hands now. And I definitely think, you know, you got some big fights in the horizon as well. Not a lot of people know that you've been around, man. You know, you've done stuff.
It's Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
happy about that day.
As well.
He was not happy about that day.
What do you do to you? Must have did something mad.
We were sparring, man, and he didn't have it. He didn't have it his way.
Yeah,
you know, like he didn't have it his way. And like during the sparring, they were like, "Oh my god, oh you ain't no regular dude." Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna come back to this again, man.
we sparred a little bit. He's a very, very good fighter. You know what I mean? Maybe not have the type of talent that I have, because I had to do all kinds of stuff to get around that range that he has. He's perfect at this range.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So you had to just deal with that.
Yeah, so I had to do all kinds of crazy stuff. over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. Fake, I'm down. Boom.
No, big up. And it must have been like a bit of a chess battle as well, because you're southpaw, he's southpaw, so that must have been...
yeah. It was a very interesting. It was like this. It was like a really, 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 really good chess player playing against a mediocre chess player with 5 queens on the board.
No, that is bad. That is
it's like, hold up. Oh, I don't think we're playing chess anymore.
No, you've been doing a bit too much.
Like, look, this looks like checkers. Like, so that's what happened. That's basically what happened.
Yeah,
you know, and like he couldn't eke out those rounds because this fool had 5 queens on the board. It wasn't fair when they got to it, you know. So but man, I tell you, he's gonna be hard to beat. Like, just because I could beat him in that sparring session wouldn't say that he would not be a challenge in any fight against anybody.
Yeah.
You know? I talk a lot of shit about Shakur, but I do. And then I still dap him up and everything. He'd be looking at me like, man, come on, you the fuck all this shit. I'm like, bro, this is what I do, man.
No, big up, man. That's the energy that I wanted the people to see at the end of the day. You know, you're fun, you know, bubbly character, and we obviously appreciate, you know, the vibes and the energy. I feel like, you know, we could talk boxing for hours and hours and hours, but of course, I know you haven't really got much time as well in Vegas. Don't know what the time is now. What's the time in Vegas now?
Oh man,
it should be about.
It's 2:18.
Man, you got some nice sun as well. How, you know what? As a fighter, obviously Vegas is always somewhere that I wanted to visit at some point in the future, and I always kind of see, you know, my imagination of Vegas being the city that never sleeps. So how does a fighter like yourself, you know, manage like all of the stuff that's going on, you know, it must be crazy, man. I just want to know this. It shows that you got good discipline as well.
Actually, it's not that bad. You know, Vegas has like a it's kind of two-sided. So like, for instance, there's the Strip, and it is the city that never sleeps. You can find almost anything.
Yeah. Anytime, any place.
But outside of that, right? There's suburbs or like that's outside, and there's like lower communities that doesn't have much going on. You know what I mean? And like, you can kind of live a double life. You can live a life where as though like it's a nice quiet town, you know, other beautiful houses and beautiful people walking their dog and things like that, and then just take a drive that's less than 15 minutes and you're back in the scene.
Back in the scene. Okay.
So it's a very interesting world that we live when you're in Vegas, because you can kind of have it all at once. And actually, I think they're about to build a beach. If they build a beach, it's over.
Done. It's done. I know. We said at the same time it's done.
It's basically done. America Dubai at this point, like, you know, because that's the only thing that I really miss about living in Cali. I would be taking drives on a weekend all the time, just to be in California. One, because of the weather is beautiful, and then also the beach. You know. So yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. Blair, once again, my brother, I just wanted to say, look, thank you so much, you know, for your time, for you just to come and bless the community, you know, with your energy, your vibe, and just know that all the way from the UK, from across the pond, you've got our support, and you just know that your next fight, I'll be doing a woo. You know what I mean? I'll be worried. Because I want you to win. Generally speaking, I want you to win, because now, you know, that we've had this conversation, you know, your journey and what you've been able to go through up to this point. You've gone through your hurdles and trials and tribulations, but look, there's going to be a new situation for you, and I'm hoping that, you know, you get your title shot eventually. Do you have like a certain age that you want to stop boxing, or you just want to kind of just keep going until, you know, you feel that you don't want to do it no more? Or when, yeah, because I wouldn't want you to leave the sport at a point where the sport is taking you out. I want you to leave at a point where, you know, you've done what you've done, ready to go.
Well, absolutely. Actually, I don't. You know, like, honestly, man, like, I'm trying to make it.
Yeah.
Just make it.
Yeah.
And I'm 35 now. Like, I look younger than 90% of 30-year-olds.
I'm 34. I'm 34, my brother, man. So yeah, I know.
Like, and I keep my body as healthy as I possibly can. You know what I mean? I don't have too many addictions. You know? So you know, I'm just trying to like make sure that I make it. You know what I mean? After making it to a level that makes sense, you know, making the millions and all that stuff, then I can probably think about retirement. You know, I would think about the retirement. You know,
definitely.
I'm just too far. I'm too far now to give up.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about giving up like 2 days ago. Like, man, like, what the fuck am I doing, man?
Nah, bro, you don't need to give up.
Like, I just came off of a big fight.
Yeah.
And like, I can still make something happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's always like that. Like, right when you're about to give up, that's when your breakthrough happens. Yeah. So like, one thing if there was ever anything that I've been good at, I've been good at not giving up. That's why my ex is strung the fuck out. We was rolling for 9-10 years, man. Like, what? No, we're not breaking up yet.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And like, sometimes that's what you just need. You just need to just keep going, even when times get hard.
Yeah, no,
that's where I'm at right now. And whether boxing takes me out before that time or after that time, we'll see. But like, you know, I came into boxing willing to die, so I'm probably going to go out willing to die too.
That's it, man. That's it. And I just want to make sure as well that when you do have that, you know, big event, because I'm manifesting that for you in advance, man. When you have your big one, I'm trying to think entrance wise, you got to do you got to do a Shawn Michaels, man. You got to do a HBK, a proper one.
Oh yeah, with the ladies and everything.
We'll probably get him. What? Could you get him out?
Well, man, I'm telling you, look, I'll be smoking all kinds of shit. Sometimes I'm just be sitting around.
Yeah.
Just be thinking. You know, somebody silly like me with like an imagination.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Yeah.
so I'll be imagining all kinds of shit, like, you know, like, man, we should have like beautiful girls walk out and throwing rose petals at my while I walk to the stage. No, I don't want to walk to the stage. I'm gonna have like a big giant weightlifter like carry me on his shoulders.
Oh yeah. I get
you. A monkey costume. You know what I mean?
You're gonna drive Napa crazy with some of these requests. Hopefully, it's not gonna be too.
Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then when I get into the ring, I throw a banana down and then knock Teofimo's tooth right out his mouth.
There it is. And there it is. The Blair, my brother. Once again, blessings upon blessings upon blessings to you. thank you so much, for joining us on the boxing roundup. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a good experience for you as well.
I loved it. Let's get on again sometime. Let's break down. Like, what I believe is this, that it's the story that will impact and make people fall in love with the fighters. It's the story behind the fighter. It's the story behind them that you fall in love with them. So I'm always here. If you want to talk to me and get a little bit breakdown of my past, all that stuff, because I've been on a run. I started boxing in Mexico on a run with a different name. Then I had to fight in Philadelphia with no understanding of the hood, the streets. You know what I mean? It just had to go through the whole shit. You know what I mean? Finding my new sister because I was about to kill the motherfucker that stole my shit. Oh, but that's their cousin. Crazy stuff. I'll tell you, I got crazy stories for days. But yeah, so hit me up anytime. All right. I'm always available. Hit me up. I'm always going to be available for the boxing roundup, baby.
Nah, big up to you once again, my brother. And look, give us the biggest woo in honor of Ric Flair, man. Please, for us, man.
Absolutely. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Blair the Flair. And for more exciting content, official BlairTheFlair.com. Woo! Woo! Exciting, man, in boxing.
Jeez. Now, big up to you, man. And thank you to those that's tuned into the show right now. Obviously, appreciate the energy, appreciate the support as well. Big up to the whole of the iBoxingHub family as well. Got to do the shout outs as well. Big up to the IBH USA team for doing the watch along yesterday. Big up to them. Big up to the IBH North team as well. Crossroads and Boxing, they're absolutely smashing it. Eric, CJ, Ricky, absolutely love you brothers as well. And big up to the Stay Weighed In brothers as well, man. So Abbas, Ray, and Andrew as well. Abbas has obviously been to WrestleMania as well. Big John Cena fan. So yeah, just wanted to obviously put it out there as well. And big up to my cousin as well. He's the guy, in the picture above you. That is Mr. Sports Entertainment. So next time we'll do a part 2 and then watch. The whole vibe's gonna be straight WWE for the people, man. But we obviously appreciate you as well. Kami, thank you so much. We didn't even know you was tuned in. She's saying great interview. Look, Kami, thank you so much for your feedback. But this ain't interviews. Honestly, this ain't interviews. This is more of a podcast and chill. It's like kicking it with your brother, man. And I appreciate Blair the Flair once again. But obviously it's Sunday. It's a blessed day. And I wanted to wish you all a tremendous day. So Blair the Flair, Cobbs, please, I want you to have the honors to locking up the show.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on. You're watching the Boxing Roundup. Woo!
Woo!
It's another band. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. I talk my scars with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag, but